Hello, my beautiful friends. Today is February 17th, 2021, and I got some crazy updates for you guys. All right. So, for those of you who subscribe to this YouTube channel and to my newsletter, I told you so. Okay? I've been telling people since if you're my buyer and you've worked with me and you're watching this channel, you'll be like, yep, she's right. She's bang on. I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm an economist, guys. I did 2 additional years of university to get my master's degree in economics, to study data, to study trends, to be able to make future decisions and do forecasts for government. I used to work for the government. I understand data. I get data. So in December, when I saw data, I told people this spring will be record breaking. And it is. I told clients, and it was some of you who are watching this video who are clients would be like, yeah, she's been saying this, and thanks to her, I have one client. Okay, so I've got all different types of clients and personalities, and some are more risk averse, some are more like, let's do a Shireen, we trust you, and all good. I don't pressure. I don't like to pressure. I give you the data, and I've said this before, and you make the best choice for you based off of that data and your risk tolerance or how quickly you want to move. But I had one client, actually two, and one of them recently just bought. One client where I said, listen, this townhouse project, the Reeve, the one in Royal Oak, really nice project. I said under 750 for a 3-bedroom townhouse in one of a really good first-time home buyer neighborhood, Saanich East. You can't go wrong. Close to a mall, close to infrastructure, bus routes, highway, ferry, middle, like a really good central location. They were asking under 750 for their townhouses. Okay, I said, I'm telling you, you could probably flip it. I called this in December. You could flip this and then by spring for an additional 50 to 100. And lo and behold, we are right there. And if they're watching this video, they know I was right. And in fact, the other couple that didn't jump on that, it just didn't suit them and whatnot, ended up buying a townhouse and they ended up paying $60,000 more. Okay, in a good neighborhood as well. But I'm just trying to explain. So, and then another client of mine who got in, and they're like, I said to them, because they were out of town, and I said, guys, don't wait for the spring. If you can come before the spring, come one weekend. I'll show you what's on the market. Let's move. Uh, they did it. They did it. And honestly, that property that they bought, we could probably just in 3 weeks, I could probably put 100,000 on that and put on the market. Now you're saying, Shireen, what is going on? Why is the market doing what it's doing right now? I'll tell you guys straight up, basic economics, and if you want to know how long it will last, I'll tell you as well. I'll just, you know, just follow the data. The data is the story of what's going on. Now, there are lots of variables we call in economics, lots of factors you can say that affect this data. Like, for example, who saw COVID out of nowhere coming and affecting forecasts? There can be, like, I don't know, if tomorrow, God forbid, there's an earthquake, that can affect the forecast, right? But I always base it on current trends, all things, they call it status quo, or based on that, I can tell you where we're heading. Right now, we are all-time low for supply. Now, condos, of course, you can build more supply. Townhouses, because of densification, you can build more supply. House on land, it's not that easy because there is really, really high demand and not enough supply. And sellers know this. Market knows this. It's pricing it in. But okay, let's put that aside. The supply issue is huge. That's not going to change overnight. Now let's look at, so we've got the housing supply issue. Let's look at inflation. This stimulus package from the government printing money and interest rates falling, it's still around. It's still sticking around. This will continue. Inflation. And in the event when government's printing money, where do you want your money to be? In real estate, because real estate will go up. If you just keep your cash in the bank, it's just going to devalue, is what we say. So it devalues by, and if you've got like $500,000 in savings and it devalues by 3 to 5%, you do the math of how much that is. So people want to put their money, and by putting in real estate, I mean it's going up. You're making 3 to 5% on not just the money in your savings, on the whole price of the property. You're just putting that towards the down payment. If it's 1.5, you're making money on the 1.5. Now, I want to caution people. I don't have a crystal ball. I base this off of current data, current trends, continuing and doing forecasts based off of that. The supply issue is not going anywhere. Uh, are we seeing this in other parts of the world? Absolutely. We're seeing in places where there's high demand and not enough supply. Is this happening in Calgary? No. Calgary real estate prices have dropped. Why? People want to leave Calgary and want to move to the warmer parts of Canada. What is one of the most warmest parts of Canada with the nicest climate? Although, mind you, it did snow this last week, which was very unusual. But where can you find one of the warmest climates in Canada with some of the most breathtaking views and experiences? Here on Vancouver Island, guys? And I mean, I know I sound a bit like excited or whatnot. It's just that I've called several of these ups in this market. And okay, so let's speak to Shireen. What's going to happen here? Is there going to be a correction? If there is a correction, guys, our corrections aren't typical like the rest of the world or other hot markets or whatnot. Our corrections here in BC just flatten out. Okay, it flattens out and then it goes up again. It never really drops. If it does, it'll do in the condo where there's a lot of supply. House on land, we're an island. We can't make more land. And on that point, I want to speak to something to you guys. Remember Langford? They used to call it Langhole. Hot, super hot right now. Mayor's changing the city up. He's saying City of Victoria is not allowing more supply. We're gonna give the demand in Victoria because it's right next. It's like 15 minutes, 20-minute drive from Victoria. We're gonna give them demand. How much are home prices in Langford? And I'm telling you now, for those of you who are like, I don't want to be in Langford, Langford is gonna be a hit. It is already a hit. Homes that were just 2 years ago, 900, 950. Yeah, not even, yeah, 2 years ago, let's say nine, are going for 1.2, 1.3. Okay? Why? Because there's demand. There's not enough supply. We're going to see more supply coming out of Langford. But again, if you're investing, your safer bets, I would say, is more recession-proof areas or anywhere in the Victoria, closer Victoria areas, and the recession-proof neighborhoods, usually being Saanich, Oak Bay, and Victoria, certain parts of Victoria. Remember, there's a homeless situation. There's some areas you want to avoid. Victoria, but even Victoria's going up now. Esquimalt is becoming hot just because it's so close to Victoria, and it's changing. It's all changing because demand is forcing these other neighborhoods to become up and coming. Absolutely. So, I'm doing this blog because I want to say to you guys, and right now, for the buyers I'm working with right now, it's not about the commission for me, because I even had a conversation with one of my clients and said, listen, your family, your situation right now, I think we will have to look at other products or just wait. Wait for a bit more supply to come on so you're not going into bidding wars. Because that's what's happening right now, guys. It's becoming, for home on land, bidding wars. Even for townhouses. There's just, let's suppose there was 400 homes for sale in one category in a specific region. It's now 60. But the buyers are still, like, let's say there's 3,000 buyers. So you tell me what that's going to do. Every home right now, there's like, in a day when I come to book showings, they're like filling up. And because of COVID, we can't have like 5 agents going through the home like before at the same time. So if you don't get in to see it during that time frame before they take offers, you've missed out. It's becoming really, you got to be on top of your game, which I am, because I have an assistant and she's amazing and she helps me be on the ball for my clients. But my point is, you got to be on your game. You got to, and if needed, you got to talk to those clients to say, based on what you want, unless we're cash, unless we're cash and we're unconditional, it's going to be tough to get you into this. So maybe let's just wait for more supply to come on. Will more supply come? Okay, so I want to speak to that. Supply right now, part of it being an issue is because people are like, I don't have the COVID vaccine. I don't want 60 people coming through my home. So I'm going to hold off till that I get the jab and I let people come through. That's what people are saying. Okay, so they're saying I'm just going to wait up. So we may see more supply coming up and easing the situation. It won't drop it. I don't think it'll correct it. It'll stabilize it. They ease the issue with helping people with more supply. Uh, but honestly, I think that's part of it. But I had an interesting conversation with another colleague of mine to say, what's going on? Like, why are people not providing more supply? I would be cashing in this crazy market right now if I was a seller, right? It's a seller's market. You sell at the high and then you buy at the lows. But remember, I'm going to speak to that. I spoke to that already. Buyers here, we won't have lows. We'll have a flattening and then it going back up again. So it's different on that regards. Compared to stock market. So what he said to me, this colleague of mine, was, Shireen, I have clients who are ready to sell tomorrow, but where are they going to go? They're going to be in multiple bids buying, so they're like, I might as well just stay where I am till I could find somewhere to go. So this loop is feeding itself of the supply issue. So that's one front. There's the jab. There's several variables that's feeding this shortage crisis, I want to call it, because that's all you hear in the news now, oil crisis, this crisis, you know. And I want to tell people, and this is where I come in and I say, here are the facts. Let's not get emotional, because emotions don't, and that's why when I don't like going into bidding wars, and if I have to, I tell my client, find your limit. Let's play within it. We're not going to go over that limit of yours. You know where you stand. Let's go in. Let's not let our emotions kick in. So, and before I even go there, I say, what is that? Before I even go, and we get all emotional, and we set those boundaries, and then we go in. Okay, and then I take over with taking on the negotiation and whatnot. Let's keep the emotions out, because when you get emotional, and this is what's happening in the market right now, that's why these bidding wars are happening. People are getting emotional. People are getting like, will I ever get a home? We need more supply. It will come. You can't go wrong going to some other neighborhoods further out of Victoria. I honestly think Souk is already up and coming. Lots that were there for 250 are now selling for 300, 350, because people are like, where can I find land in Victoria for that price? For land in Victoria, guys, or anywhere close to Victoria, you're looking at just land. Okay, it used to be you could buy a house, acreage on a home with an acreage on land just like 6 years ago. You're looking at 750, just the empty lot, 7,000 square foot, even maybe less than that. In Victoria, probably like 6,000 square feet, 750. Yeah, there's actually one on Belmont that I'm gonna check out. Is basically lot value. The home was really old, small lot, 5,500 square feet. I'm really curious to see what that went for. But if you subscribe to my channel, follow me, I'll keep you posted on what's going on in the market, and I'll keep you posted on some of these prices and what's happening. But right now, as it stands, guys, again, I don't want to sound like a broken record. And subscribe to my newsletter, because if you just go back to the previous newsletters I sent, you will see my forecasts coming true over and over and over again. Money will go into gold and money will go into real estate. Those are inflation pegs. What governments are doing throughout the world are printing money. Now, gold has a bit of, it's doing something interesting this year because it's competing a bit with Bitcoin. And hey, I've had questions of, there was an article 3 years ago about a guy who was accepting cryptocurrency for real estate here in Uplands. You say, I'll even take that. I bet you that guy's doing phenomenal now, because crypto was so cheap so many years ago. But I was talking to someone else that eventually, with Elon Musk recently saying I'll even accept Bitcoin for buying a Tesla, it's showing that there is a somewhat of acceptance of cryptocurrency. Now, do I personally invest in crypto? Guys, if you follow me and you know me, I invest in one thing and one thing only that I believe in, and I don't sell something I don't believe in: real estate. I just, in this crazy market, picked up a condo myself. I have a home. I have a few homes, so I just keep those as my revenue properties. Um, I invested recently in another condo project. You're welcome to call me and ask me about that project and what my thoughts are on as an investor, what to do with my money. I can share you my personal insights. But my inflation peg has always been real estate. I've always done well with it, and it's an inflation peg that later on will give you revenue.